Hello.
Hello.
That's not the right song to sing. We should be singing like...
Isn't me you're looking for? Well, that's who you've got. It's the I'm Mom So Hard podcast.
You found us.
Yep. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter,
Gmail. We're not giving that out,
Etsy,
right?
Etsy, that's not true. You can find me on Etsy just looking for homemade goods.
I get overwhelmed with Etsy, but I often get overwhelmed by anything that has more than the 3 options. Thank you for joining us today. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe. Think of it as a small little Christmas present to us from you so that we can keep this train moving.
Yeah, let's keep chugging along, shall we?
Chugging along.
Cheers to
chugging along.
Let's chug to chugging, okay? Do I sound extra sexy today? It's because I am getting over the flu.
Well, this has been, and this is kind of like what we're talking about a little bit today, but this has been like the 2 years of sickness or like the 3 years of new deals. Like we thought it was just COVID.
Yes.
Now it's flu. Strep, RSV, not to sound like a party, like pooper. Sorry.
Oops.
My butt's too big for this cherry. Oh, that's another thing. But I do think that like we've been handed a lot.
Yes.
Dealt a lot. Moms have been dealing with a lot. And when your kids are sick and then you inevitably get sick, that's really hard.
Yes. And I have felt like my tree's not even up. It's always.
You have 5 trees up.
But there's not like a big tree that can handle all the presents and stuff like that. The one that my main tree, I have 2 trees up. I have that candy tree that nobody can go in and look at because the dogs keep eating all the like decorations off of it.
You have a pink full-sized candy tree. You have a small white stick-like snack food tree.
Yeah.
You have a city village. You have accoutrement on every table. Your house looks beautiful. It's super Christmased out, and you're wearing a fucking headband with lights on it. I've got one tree. It's almost dead with 8 ornaments on it. It's all I can do. I'm in a renovation. We're not going to be in the house on time. I'm not happy about it.
I like that big tree in my living room. You know, it's got a high ceiling, and I'll just sit there and look at the tree forever. But I've been so sick.
Yeah, they got it. They got hit by the flu.
We all did. We all went down like one after another. That's not what we're going to talk about today.
No, not the flu, but we're going to talk about the shit that's happening in our lives.
Yeah, it's happening right now.
Anger started my period.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like in the middle of the biggest argument with my husband, I felt literally like I had taken in a lightning strike,
squeezed it out,
and then it just like exploded. It was wonderful. I was like, I am so mad. Oh no. And that's what's happening in my life, you guys. Just a lot of marital bliss.
Well, was it the anger that started the period, or was it the period that started the anger?
I honestly think it was the anger that started my period. That's happened to me one time before when an old man yelled at me at the baseball game.
Yeah.
And my daughter had just hit her head on one of the edges of the stupid batting machine. And then this old man yelled at Finn, and I like lost my shit. And I like was in between like literally getting in a fist fight or fully crying. And so I couldn't punch him because I was in front of people and tried to have some self-control. So that I just started my period. Like I blasted through my pants. And I didn't feel like I should apologize to him for it because I wanted him to know that he was the cause. I don't know if anybody's ever used their period as a weapon, but I did that day. Well done me.
Yeah. God, it should be good for something.
It should be good for something.
Right?
And my pants were never the same. Fuck.
Well, yeah. No, I remember the first pair of Guess jeans that I ever had.
Oh, periods,
I was
man.
like, I'm going to get this a second time? Wow, it was like real shocking. Couldn't wear those.
Guys,
anyways.
Who's listening to the podcast now?
No, I know. I think everybody, this is how we weed out the real listeners, is we start engrossed right away, and then we
start
get
engrossed
a little bit to normal.
Yeah, and then the husbands or the people that don't want to listen are like, I'm out. And we're like, fine. The people that are left over at the party are going to be super fun.
That's
and
right.
they're going to get me and like me. So I don't care.
Well, besides being sick, I felt this, so we're kind of wrapping up the year. We're kind of wrapping up the year right now.
We're in December. We're in the holiday rush.
The
we're
end
wrapping
stretch,
it up.
And I have felt this entire year like overwhelmed or like behind the eight ball. And I read something that made me feel better, because I think that's the thing with what we do, what everybody says that, oh, I thought I was the only one that felt that way.
Yeah.
So this woman, and she's a psychologist, psychiatrist, and public speaker.
Well done, lady. You went to school a bunch.
Well, she has good ideas too.
I'm double jointed in my finger. Can you do that, lady? Can't do that. Okay, fine. Go ahead.
So she was saying how, besides, like of COVID and all of that, we like survive trauma. But the thing that moms have done in the last year, like 2022, was we tried to play catch up. So this, I think, is great to do at the end of the year and forget everybody who's like, let's set a resolution for next year. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You got to have goals and stuff like that. But you know what?
Do you? I think so.
I mean, you got to have like something to look forward to.
Well, they say the 3 ways to know that you're truly happy is to have something to love, have something to do, and have something to look forward to.
Yes.
I think a goal should be something you look forward to, not one more fucking thing that you tell yourself that you need to improve, because we are told enough that there are things that we always need to improve.
Right. Maybe like let's take the end of the year and pat ourselves on the back a little bit, okay? So this is a part of the little thing that she wrote that I thought was interesting. So before you begin questioning the absolutely depleted and wrung dry state you are in, pause, breathe, remind yourself of who you are and what you have endured, and then remind yourself of what you have overcome. Despite it all, you are still going. Even in the days you stumble and find yourself face down in a pile of dirt, understanding brings compassion. So we got to be compassionate with ourselves and think about like what's better now. Like every time I go to a party or go to anything, I'm like, I love this because we couldn't do this like 2 years ago. This is awesome. This is like fun to go do this stuff. And I'm even like quarantine and all that shit sucked, but my house is more organized. Like it's like your house is going to be done by the end of the year, basically. Like you have a better home by the end of this year.
Yes.
You have endured all of that to have this like...
Yes, thank you. We have a Stockholm syndrome. We've all been with our people we love so much who drive us insane. And so when you're away with that from them, it's painful. It's weird. It's like a weird transition. We are in a weird state. There's no other word to use. I find myself so socially fatigued so fast. Like I'll go to a party and I'm like, this is great. I want to go home. Like I'm all of a sudden kind of weird at parties, which I love parties because I'm an extrovert. I'm sure people go home and say she's weird at a party, but I don't know that. I think I'm like my best self. I'm
you are
who
great
wants
at
to
a
see
party.
me doing the running man? So, but it's been social fatigue has been a real thing for me, or where I literally sort of mentally can't stay in like small talk. I'm so weird at a party that I went to a party. You weren't there because you were sick with the flu, so I had to go by myself, which is never good. You guys, I'm not to be trusted. And I got in
Together
there.
we can handle the highs and lows of a conversation.
Yeah, and also Jen's like, you need to retreat. But I got in and instantly saw a plate of meat on a stick. And I was hungry, and all of a sudden, it was such good hors d'oeuvres that I like was eating too fast. And then this very nice, young, handsome gentleman started to talk to me, and I gagged on a piece of meat in front of him, and I didn't have anywhere to go, and I was like, I'm gonna spit this out, literally like that situation, like into a napkin, like I've never been at a party before.
Tell me it was like
I gagged on meat. I gagged. Jen's like wheezing. I gagged on meat at a party, and that's not the first time I've done it. It was just the first time I was embarrassed about it.
Oh my gosh. Have you ever, I've had
I hate when the
one
bites are too big.
incident where I had red wine in my mouth and I had to cough and I was like, this is going to be the worst. Like, this will be a story people will tell for years.
And they look at you like, are you dying? And you're like, I'm trying not to spit my shit out.
Yeah. But then I just, like, I think like Tom Hanks in Big, when he just like spits that blogger out into a napkin, it's like, look,
just go for it.
Who cares? And
I know.
I mean, that is kind of.
I literally looked like I was like barfing out an alien. I was like, let me just step aside, sir.
Well, that's why I do like hosting with our small group. Like when you texted and you were like, because the kitchen's not going to be done, can we do it at your house? And I said to Britt, I go, this is easy. Like we can order pizza. This is not like these are people who we don't even have to clean before they come over.
Absolutely not.
Like,
I would be pissed if you did, and I know you will, and I don't want you to do that
Well,
because I feel like this is our thing that we're imposing on you. But
no, but
it feels comforting to know that we're doing that.
That's what I just said. I'm such a good podcaster.
We're so good.
Is this mimosa kicking in?
It
is that what
Cheers.
just happened?
Cheers.
Okay.
Mimosas make me funny and more attractive.
They make me a worse listener, but I talk more. You'll notice.
I think that's great for a podcast.
Maybe.
Go for it.
So basically, it'll be both just Kristin and I monologuing side by side here pretty soon.
But we live such similar lives that we will meet in the middle. We'll be like, and then I got on the train.
I think I see both sides of this conversation right now.
Circle.
Yeah.
There we go.
But I do want to say this is the first thing that I thought of that I did better this year. And this was no small potatoes. This was a conscious decision that I made to not fight with people I don't know on the internet
That's a big one.
More.
That's a big one.
Because I get personally offended by people saying, I'm having a shitty day and I'm going to just drop this shitty comment right here. And I'm like, I feel like you're getting away with something, so I just want you to know I saw it, and here's my response. But this year, I've tried to let that shit go.
It's so hard. Also, when you have a really funny quip that you know would just burn, it's really hard. There's so many of my family members that my fingers are like they're on fire on the keyboard, and I'll type it and I'll delete, and I'll type it and I'll delete, and I'll be like, don't do it. What do you get out of this?
Yeah.
Like, it's just going to start a thing. It's very hard. I think I just get exhausted at that. So like it might seem like I'd be one to like participate in that, but most of the time I can just sort of like I just say I'm not going to deal with you.
Yeah.
Or I snooze you, or I unfriend you, or I like don't want to deal with you, because social media is such a vortex. And it also, when you deal with family, somebody tells your family and it becomes a whole thing.
Oh yeah.
And I don't want to deal with that either.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I just am quiet.
That actually did happen in our family where
Yes.
somebody said something that they wanted to say and it offended a random uncle. And to that I also say,
Where have you
thicker
been,
skin.
sir?
Have thicker skin, everybody. You know, like...
We're all very sensitive. Our feelings all matter. Everybody's feeling like on edge. I also feel this thing, and I don't know if this is a thing, because of where we're all coming from and that things have been so weird. I keep using the word weird, but I see this like need to like fight. Like I want to get in a fight. I want to feel stuff. It's like kind of S&M-y, you know, like whip me so I can feel bad, or like punch me or something. I don't know. Like everybody, like I see it at sporting events for kids more, like everybody's a little aggro, and I'm like, whoa, like what the fuck is happening right now?
Maybe I did that. Maybe that was my 2021.
And
that's
now
why
I'm saying. We're on the other side of it, but it still feels like now that we're fully integrating back into, like, we're going to sporting events, like we're all saying not COVID is over, but that COVID is something we're going to live with.
Yeah.
That we can get the vaccination. It's our new normal, which is a weird word for a fucking disease. But like, is that what it's called? Syndrome? COVID?
A virus?
Virus. So you've got a new virus. You got a new virus that you're playing with every year now. So It is a weird thing. It's a weird thing. And we all went through like a really hard time. But I do feel like people are like angsty about, like my husband came home and he was like annoyed that the way that this one sushi restaurant gave their to-go orders. And he was so worked up about it. And I was like, is this the thing you're going to be pissed about? And therefore, then we argued about all the things I'm pissed about. And then I rage perioded. But it's great.
Oh, okay. Because I
started small, went big.
I know this really easy way to piss off your partner, and that is to, when they do get mad about something like that, and I literally got this from a counselor.
Demean them and make it seem small. Diminish it.
Are you really that mad about the sushi, or does this feel like something else?
Oh, I didn't say that. I go, are you this mad about the sushi? Because this makes you like grouchy and lame. And then he took that really personally. It's weird.
Grouchy and lame. Those are not aphrodisiac.
They're not. They're not aphrodisiacs as traits either.
No.
I'm like, can we just lean into like some softer choices, some nicer stuff? And I also think my husband said about me also in our fight where I rage perioded that like I'm not having any fun. I think what he said is I'm no longer fun. But what I'm saying is I'm going to give him the asterisk and say that he was saying you're not having any fun. But what he did say was I am not fun. What he really meant to say was you're like, I'm not like, again, that expectation of like, oh, normally this situation, I'd be having a ball, but I'm finding this shit about this situation to complain about. That's not fun. Fun is not like getting on a plane and going to Costa Rica. Of course that's fun. You pay for that fun. That's a vacation. If it's not fun, you're a moron. What I'm talking about is like, you should still be able to have fun, watching a kid's sporting event or at the dinner table or watching a Christmas movie together. If those things are not lifting you up, then you're kind of in a deficit, and it's hard.
I have to remind myself in those moments to do that. Like
right. That's what I'm saying. We're not, muscle memory is not there right now.
No. And honestly, I don't know if I had that before COVID. I think because my priorities got like scared straight in the last 2 years or whatever, that I am more like my husband and I have this conversation all the time. I said to my son last week, do you know that when you're not looking at YouTube, you talk about YouTube? And I made that joke in our live show, and it got a lot of laughs because kids your age do that.
Right.
And he was like, really? Like it really like, oh yeah, I guess I am talking about it, even though I'm not like on it. So I go, can we talk about something else? Because I always like lay with him right before he goes to sleep. And now he's too big, so I can't fit with him. So it's just like little few moments that I'm trying to grasp onto. But like I charge my phone while I lay with him. So I'm not on my phone.
Right.
I'm not checking emails.
Good.
I'm not getting any messages or anything. And I listen to him. And if I don't tell myself to do that, I don't listen to my kids. And I, hand to God, am telling you the truth.
Hold on.
I go, what do you need? What do you want? Tell me what you want for breakfast. How was your day? Good, bad, anything I need to address? Otherwise, I'm doing work or something.
All fairness, they're boring to listen to.
Well, I mean, they could
like,
hit some more interesting things that I like to talk about.
That's what I'm saying. Again, the 50 in, 50 out. I'm dialed in for like 50% of the conversation, and then 50% of the conversation, I'm like my son is trying his hand at rap. And here's what I love. You know that hip hop was, I love it. But hip hop was established as a way for people in like urban communities to like, it's like beat poetry. It's like things that make life hard. They communicated through this like rhythmic beat. And my son is like this. He's like, homework. Yo, I gotta get stuff done for religion. I gotta get it before I go to mass. I gotta do it before I get on the bus because I gotta hand in my folder about ancient civ. I'm like,
Oh my God. I don't know if this is going to.
How many times can I listen to the plight of a very privileged boy before I want to like literally check out? I'm like, I'm 50% in. Now I'm 50% out.
I don't know if this will make your day or break your heart, but there's probably a lot of money in Christian rap. I mean, that is gotta be like just a huge untapped market that he should probably delve into.
Literally, I'm like this. You should talk to Dashiell about this. I'm like, I'm not your fan base. I'm not your crowd.
Okay.
I'm trying to. This is my face. If you can't see it, it's just me with my lips pulled back.
So maybe our boys are going to be like the very white, Irish, Scottish version of Snoop and Dre.
Oh my God, we're going to know. No, they're not.
No, well, I mean, in terms of like creating collabs, doing music together, because Dash is learning how to do auto-tune.
It's like, homework.
Can I sing you? No, can I sing you this song? Even with my horrible voice, it's only because I've had mimosa. I'm going to sing you.
Please.
And I'm going to try and do it how we auto-tuned it. And you're welcome, everyone listening, because this is going to hurt your ears.
Great.
Okay. I saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus. I wonder what his lips look like. And that was the first part that made me pee my pants. There's a couple other mindless about like a poop and butts or something. And then
always. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, are we supposed to keep our attention with that?
Because, hold on, the last verse is, I think I injured my voice box. That is considered a catastrophic injury. And I died laughing. And I was like, why don't I pay more attention to this kid? This is like comedy goldmine right here.
I don't know what's comedy gold. If it's me listening to him or my face trying to listen to him. Because I'm always like, I always look like I'm smelling something bad. I'm trying so hard. Like, Finn tried to do it was actually really sweet. He did a whole rap about the islands in Bora Bora for a school project. And it was amazing. It really did rhyme. But the whole time I was like, I would love to go watch TikTok right now.
Yeah.
Is that where I'm at? I'm just not. I'm trying.
I don't know. I mean, obviously they're not that interesting because if they were, we'd put them on TikTok. And
if they were interesting, we would listen more
influencers,
actively.
right?
The truth is like we're doing our best. Like they are not. If kids were interesting, we would want them around at parties more. But we're like, go on the trampoline.
Well, okay, so that's what I will say I'm going to give myself credit for is I've made an active decision. Look, I'm not going to listen to all the crazy stuff that comes out of their mouth, but I want like the things that matter to them for them to see that they matter to me if they're worthwhile stuff. Like, again, I'm not going to be like, I don't care what this YouTuber you like does unless you've learned something from them.
I mean, my kids like to play their iPads with each other.
Oh, yeah.
Which feels like, I'm like, okay, well, that is building a sibling relationship. So if you could just go do that,
I do think
then I
it's
can watch
good.
White Lotus and everybody's happy.
I'm really going to go off the rails a little bit. Again, is it the mimosa or what? I do think that time's really important because, so Kristen's the oldest, and so your brother's how many years?
My brother is 3 years younger than me. My sister is 7 years younger than me.
Okay. So I do think, especially I've learned this from like my girlfriends who only had sisters, that like it's so important to learn how to play with a male. Like, no, so that it's not all sexual, so that you can have a friendship with a male that doesn't have anything to do with.
Oh yeah, it's called my entire high school experience.
Yeah, but you were like nervous and sweating and excited and going home and
for everybody.
Frantically
Literally, all I did was make.
Sorry, did I say that
All
out loud?
I did was made everybody feel better about themselves because if you talked to me for 10 minutes as a male, I had a crush on you. It didn't matter. So they were like, man, no one has ever had a crush on me, but Kristin has a crush on me. Now I feel better about myself. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sweating through my shirt and I'm like humping the railing as we talk. I don't know what's going on. My pants are exploding. What's happening?
Well, that's why I say let your kids play. You do together so they can, or play games together so they can be a little cooler in those situations.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But I think, what are we trying to say? How much have I had? 2 glasses of champagne, and this is where I'm at.
I don't even think you're at 2.
I'm not even at 2.
No. But what else have you done good this year? Done well this year?
I was going to say, not correct people's grammar. Not great. I thought about it when we talked about doing this episode, and I really liked the spin because, I don't know, I just feel like, and this sounds like I'm on a soapbox, but I feel like we're always telling moms and women in particular, like, where you're at right now isn't good enough. You have to do something better. Like, we started IMOMSOHARD with that.
Yeah.
Getting tired of that as new
notion,
mommies.
yeah.
Like, hey, you built a crib, but now you need to build a crib and it needs to have like butterflies and LED lighting. And I'm like, this bullshit, man. It's really hard. Like, we have also this pressure. And then on top of it, a little bit of fatigue from this, I don't know, global pandemic that really sucked. So as I thought about like, what was this last year like for me and what did I do better? I really like that idea because it makes you feel better about yourself. It's not like, what can I change? What do I need to fix? So many things. But I don't want to focus on that. So my answer to you, this is so random and weird, is one thing I think I got better at last year is instead of texting, I call.
Oh.
It was just something I wanted to
huge.
do.
That's not little, that's big.
Well, I guess I just felt like it's really easy to send a text, but that doesn't feel good. I like to hear somebody's voice if they're far away. So I was like, I'm going to, even if it's Jen who I'm asking a work question to, once in a while, I'm just going to choose to call instead of text. And it's kind of like changed some things for me. I feel like I have more connection with people. And if I'm in my car and I'm driving in traffic, which is all the time in LA, there's no reason that I can't just call somebody as opposed to sending a text. It doesn't feel the same.
That's a good one. I'm going to think about that because I do always feel like, and maybe that is why I would fight with people on social media, is because I feel more confident to write things down or just that I'm more concise.
Right.
In doing
because
so.
You're not socially awkward if you're on a computer.
Yeah. So then I never talk on the phone. And I do think I'm one of those people that gets like a little anxious about doing it for no reason. Just because.
But I would argue with you is that what happens with somebody with social anxiety is they think that it's you. Oh, I don't want to bug you. I don't want to.
Yes.
Oh, this is too much. But that other person just loves it.
Okay, that's because I do feel like I am bothering this person. So I've really got to have it like together and organized what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Because they're busy and, like.
All you need for that is a younger sister because it is my joy in life to call my sister at any time of the day and disregard that she has a job. It is
nice.
Like she'll see me calling and she'll be like, and then she won't answer. So then I'll call back 4 times.
How dare she?
She's like, I am at work. And I'm like, I don't care. Can I send you a picture of me with this new lip gloss and tell me if it looks good? And she gets so pissed and I just keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
That
so
feels
yeah,
right.
I feel like making the best thing we can do for each other right now is just connection, I guess.
I think a thing that I got or tried to get better at this year, and I think I did, like I can think of 2 times where I was like, normally I'm like, and I say this to my husband all the time, that this was like how I was raised, where it's easier for me to go, just give me a situation and I will figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
Rather than just deciding on what a situation is.
What do you wait? Can you explain that?
So it's almost like I almost operate better if you don't give me a choice in some ways.
Sure.
Where I'm
that makes
like,
sense.
In my head, I'm like, I can adapt to that kind of thing. And I don't know what that is, like fear of responsibility or whatever it is. But a thing that I try to do this year is like, if like that date doesn't work for me, just to say that, not to like remove and not just dates, but like that thing just to be like, just say that it doesn't work or say that there's a reason why you feel uneasy with that thing.
I know that not to like blame our gender, but I believe that like that would never occur to a man ever
No,
in a
they
million
would
years.
just
They'd
say,
be like,
"Oh,
nah, I got a thing on at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
And we were like, you're not willing to move your whole calendar, to move something around to make, like today, Eleanor got on a soccer all-stars team, and she's supposed to meet her whole new team today, but it's also the same day as like a performance for her friend. And I kind of wanted her to go to the performance because I thought that would be sweet. And Colin was like, no, she's already committed to this thing. Like, you just say no. And I was like, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, what?
Wait, what?
Just say no.
I don't know if you've met me, but that doesn't come easy unless I'm talking to you, my husband.
I was going to say, yeah.
And then I'm
They
really
think
open and really confident.
I know, but I do think that's, and probably all women, we can probably all work on that, right? Just saying like, and you're not saying no, you're saying not exactly like that.
Also, you don't have to be a bitch about it.
No, yeah. Just say,
It's just you saying, hey, that doesn't work for me. Can we find another time?
yeah. Or I've already changed this.
3 times.
Yeah.
That's going to make me look like a dickhead.
Yeah.
How much can I cuss in an episode?
Well, I mean, I think we do say that where we're like, I have this thing in the calendar and I know it's going to look like a stupid thing, but I've moved it a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
And I don't want to move it again. Is this other thing, can we move it?
Right.
You know, and that's like, we get that, you know? Most
In
people
particular, eyelashes for me. I'm like, if I have to move my eyelash appointment, and now you're like, well, how dumb is an eyelash appointment? Let me tell you something. I get my eyelashes done because they hold up the hood of my eyelid. So when they are not there, people constantly ask me, are you sick or are you tired? Which messes with me mentally. So it's not just an eyelash appointment. It is literally helping me have a better life.
It's a thing that makes you feel good. It's not like,
I'll move my roots like 400 times. And then everyone's like, you are literally so gray, it's upsetting. And I'm like, I know.
I honestly,
Look at them right now.
No, I don't think they look bad. I don't think that, I just got mine done because I looked like Grateful Dead or something. I was
ZZ Top.
Totally ZZ Top. It was like a rough.
Well, you've been freaking on your back sick. That sucks. It always makes you feel terrible and sad and vulnerable and weird.
Yeah. And like my skin, I'm like, I'm sorry, I just croaked into the microphone too, but I need to get like a facial. Which
I got a nice period zit on the end of my nose. I don't have a small nose. I like my nose, but it's not small. So when there is a reindeer situation, Rudolph situation, it's just all you see.
It's gone now. Where? Do you have a lot of makeup on it?
Yeah. But I also use that concealer you gave me, which is really good.
Oh, good.
The Tarte.
Yeah. That Tarte stuff. Yeah. Because it's got a little yellow in all the shades, which cancels the red,
also,
I think.
it's creamy. It blends in nicely where other stuff like literally feels like I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
So this episode is basically to remind you, and we didn't stay on task. We went all over. But the thesis of this episode is that where you're at right now is good enough. And you do not need to make resolutions for yourself because what you're doing is hard. And we see you and we love you and we are you and we get you. And be nice to yourself. And in the biggest thing you can do for yourself is like reach out to a friend, have a good conversation. That's it. That's the expectation.
I mean, these New Year's Eve parties or celebrations, whatever, you should be raising your glass to like surviving it. Like
that's it.
You made it through. And if you really think about it, you did way more than just survive it. Okay? Survive it would mean like
crushed it.
Like, yeah, you like
we're all doing our best and nobody is doing that great. Nobody's doing that great. So we just have to like enjoy the not great, right? Like no one's looking at you if you go to a party and thinking anything negative except if you give them that thing to think about. So go in, have fun, bring in the new year, 2023, with zero expectations.
Toast your tiny accomplishments. Like,
that's right.
Even if it was just like, man, I purchased like matching silverware. Whatever.
Or new underpants.
Yes.
Which was another thing my husband gave me shit about in our argument. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
That'll be another episode. I have a hot flash.
Period.
Hot flash.
of the year,
okay,
which
great.
I feel like this is a hot flash mom box all in one,
Woo!
talking about celebrating what has been.
Okay.
We're not going to send this off in a sad way, as this is going to be a full high five celebration.
Great. That's what it should be.
Frances Hesselbein,
I love that name.
former Girl Scout CEO,
God love you.
dies at 107. Just happened, everybody.
Oh.
So if you ever...
107.
107, she was born in 1915, you guys.
What?
She started out helping lead a Girl Scout troop when she was in her 30s, so 1940s, as a favor to her neighbor. Because they had this group of 30 girls that didn't have a leader. And she was like, oh, sure, okay.
See, she didn't say no.
Nope, she did it. Well, I mean... She could have said no, but she evaluated.
She
was
evaluated.
Like, I
she
have
was like,
room
I'm
on my
going to move room. I'm going to move stuff around just for this because I want to do it.
She also, so her motto was to serve is to live. And she really had a good time.
I love that.
She did so many amazing things, you guys. So I'm going to tell you what some of them were. So in 1976, she was the very first female, get this, to hold position of CEO in the Girl Scouts of America organization.
What a crock of crap.
Because
but God bless her for being the first. That should have been.
Yeah, and she did it. So she edited the organization's handbook in an effort to push girls to pursue STEM careers. Yes.
What is that? Science, technology, engineering, and math?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There you go.
Yep. She also created the Daisies, which was meant to get younger girls to sign up and also to, quote, a more inclusive organization, and tripled the organization's BIPOC membership, like people of color.
Oh.
Which is amazing, especially at a time where nobody else was doing that. So she remained a CEO through 1990, you guys. She was old as shit. She was like, I'm not going. What,
She's
let
like,
some
I got
other
this
dude
thing
take
dialed
over?
in.
Forget about it.
Yeah, I don't need another man coming here and telling us what to do. We
She's
got it
been
dialed in.
Yeah, she's been awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
That's awesome.
She's written over 35 books in 20 different languages. She's an inspiration.
Frances, this episode is dedicated to you.
You've touched all of our lives. Let's look back on what we've done and feel good about it.
Isn't that the thing?
Yeah.
Brownies?
Yeah. Is that
Or
brownies?
is it brownies?
This is
it
brownies,
the three?
right?
Yeah.
See, you touched all of our lives. We didn't even know your name.
But now we do. So go out, get in the world, be happy. And if you're not, that's okay too.
Have fun, ladies. Cheers.
Happy 2023.